Investment is a term which has been going viral for the last few years, and for the right reasons also. We all know that how financial investment can change your life. But if you take investment, the term in general, you realize that it is a term which is useful in all spheres of life, whether it is personal, financial, mental, physical. You invest your time, your energy, your resources, and you yield a positive return from it. And right now, I am going to invest my time with an amazing person. Welcome to Executive Lens podcast by Sudev. And we have our guest, Mr. Abdullah Al Naimi. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Welcome.
How are
Thanks a
you?
lot.
How are you doing?
Doing great. Thanks a lot for having me. I'm honored by the invite and by being here, and so flattered that you chose me to say that they're gonna talk about investment with me. So it's an amazing thing. Thank you very much.
The pleasure is all mine. And I just wanted to know about your journey.
Sure.
Okay. So we will start with one simple question. How are you feeling right now? What is one word that you can use to describe your feeling right now?
I would say I'm grateful to God that I'm Qatari and I'm in Qatar. Times are difficult. We must say that. We must address it. But I'm thankful for our Amir and our government and all my brothers and sisters and cousins who are in the services that are protecting us by doing their best so that we can have such podcasts during even this difficult times.
True.
So thank you very much to everybody who brought us, and then I'm thanking you for having me today. It's an honor to be here with you guys. A well-reputed podcast with the great people like yourself. So thank you very much.
One thing that I was very curious about you. You are the managing director of Doha Business Consulting, and you're also an avid traveler.
Yep.
So a question that first comes to my mind is, how do you get such time?
Think about it this way. I have been traveling all my life since I was a kid. I was lucky. I remember the first trip I did outside Qatar without my family was when I was 16. That was more than 20 years ago.
Okay.
And I went to Budapest at that time in Hungary.
Okay.
We had to take 2 flights to get over there at that time. But today with the great Qatar Airways that we have, it's just 1 flight away. I'm not sure if they activated it yet due to the current situation, but I'm hoping that we'll be able to travel. And again, so it's more than 20 years of traveling, observation, looking into people, cultures, history, trying to understand us as a human being. Some people, I think I heard that some time ago, which is when you travel, you don't go outward, you travel inside yourself. You start discovering things that you have in yourself. So
True.
maybe
I think that's a beautiful realization that you just shared, because a lot of people who have traveled will resonate to this thing. Once you travel a lot, you realize that you have to control the world within yourself.
Yes.
Then only the world around you shapes accordingly.
Yes.
And now let's come to the official part of the podcast.
Go ahead.
Okay, so this is a candid conversation. It has both official and unofficial parts. So explain your work like you would explain it to a 10-year-old. Very simply, like very simple terms, without any jargon.
If you ask my kids, what does your father do? I believe one of them will at least tell you that I helped change the world with one decision at a time.
Wow.
So I try my best to invest in a company. So I am advisor for multiple funds worldwide. Some of them are in Singapore, others are in Qatar, some of them are in Turkey, Kazakhstan. My idea is simple. We are blessed to be in this country, literally in the center of the whole world, and we are in the center of this century. We have been with, for example, QIA initiative, funds of funds. We have been attracting the right attention to Qatar. Think about it this way. Long time ago, 1995, when you start production or the manufacturing for the gas field that we have, the LNG in Qatar. Can you believe that LNG was not been able to transport outside any nation except through a pipe? Okay. We were the first nation to ship LNG on a ship, on a boat, outside any jurisdiction. Today, it's a multi-billion dollars, not $1 trillion, business. The shipping, I'm not talking about, the gas itself. I'm talking about the shipping itself, Okay. And we have excelled in that a lot. So lots of IPs, lots of royalties that came to Qatar and all that throughout the time. Coming from that culture or that realization, that belief, I believe that I had it in me to do also something more. So I started working even before the AI was a term, was the thing, blockchain and quantum, where I really love and I see passion that lots of my countrymen shared with me. A big shout out to all my friends, my countrymen who are in the same situation. The challenge that we have with the current situation that we have in Qatar, the unfortunate situation that we have with the war, and the whole, let's say, atmosphere, still we can laugh, we still have full bellies of food, thank God. We don't feel the, let's say, necessity of leaving our country or land. That's something that we are everybody should be grateful and amazed for.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah, Bil Amin. As you know, we have been through so many challenges over the past 10 years, but those challenges today, they are paying off with the food security, with all these things. So now, when you ask me, what do I do? Like, for example, working with the country itself, trying to help everybody around the table with securing whatever, like, food supplies or commodities that we need in the countries. Since, as you know, I travel a lot, I have good connections, so I have the right, let's say, a mandate or people that I can go call and say, guys, I need 1, 2, 3, can you help us with that? Okay. So that helps the connection that we have with the human being, with other human beings. So again, when you ask what I do, I try to help to make future better for my kids and for everybody around the world.
Beautiful. I think this is a really beautiful answer. And
Thank you.
One thing that I would like to add to it is, I've been in Qatar for like last 1.5 years, and since working in the media, you were exposed to the news.
Yes.
You always read the news, you always get to know the news. And the initiatives the country is doing for the people is truly amazing. So the question is, you talked about how in 1995, Qatar started its LNG shipping, and now they're dominating the market. The drive to grow, the drive to outperform yourself, is it a cultural thing? Because I have been observing this thing a lot. When you grow up, in this society, is it something that is always embedded in you, that you have to do so good that it also benefits other people?
Actually, yes. Even if it's unwritten and spoken about, you can observe it. As you said, you've been here a year and a half, and you can see it. We don't see it. It's to say, weaved between in our culture and our raising, that we need to excel to make something better. We wanted our fathers, like my father's generation, they moved. Think about it this way, okay? We are a generation away from people who were born in a tent. Okay, who were born into mud houses.
True.
To a generation that have been in social media all their lives. To the next generation, whom are my kids, whom do not understand the term privacy.
Yeah.
My kids now have that challenge, but at the same time, when they come to me every now and then and ask me, so Dad, we want to study this, and I always tell them, I don't know, because I see your future. I want you to be the best because you see it, you are living it. We had opportunities that they don't have, but they have opportunities that we don't have. I believe that it's our job as fathers, as young men of this country, to take it to the next step, to make sure that the future is even brighter for our kids, so that we can keep excelling rather than, attacking ourselves.
Beautiful, beautiful. And now let's go back to the first day of your career, your professional career. If you could give one advice to yourself, starting off as a new young blood in this professional space, what would it be?
You sent me that question. I have been thinking about it a lot since last night. Like, really, I literally had to go through those questions. So there are some questions that I kept thinking about and rethink about. There's something that's terms, I'm not sure if it's used in social media or not, but avoid having toxic hopes. Toxic hopes that things might change, and just waiting, and then suddenly you find out that you have paused your passion or your drive for thriving or whatever, just because you are waiting for things to change. Sometimes you just have to do it now. By doing it now, I advise everybody to not to resign from their jobs and be entrepreneurs and go voyage the whole world. It's not for everybody. A society would need no more than 2% of entrepreneurs. Okay. So please, guys, if someone is telling you should, what do you call it? Broke your slave chain and run without, having a boss. Don't work for a boss. Don't be a slave. You're talking about the people who won, the people who have crossed it, maybe. But you should also think about the people who haven't crossing it. And as I told you, society doesn't need more than 2%. We need as much as scholars, lawyers. We need people thinkers. We need people who contribute to the society. Entrepreneurs help change the society, but they don't change it because if everybody became a society of entrepreneurs, 40 or 60% of us are entrepreneurs, then who will be teaching the kids?
True.
Find something that will fulfill your soul, that will keep you going, will have that drive, and enjoy it.
Wow. That is one more beautiful phrase that I'm taking from you. Find something that fulfills your soul.
Yep.
And in this journey, I really hope that you have a lot of experiences that have fulfilled your soul.
Alhamdulillah.
Traveling being one of them. Apart from traveling, what is one thing or two or three things that you love doing?
Uh, I've been talking about my kids, so I think spending time with my kids is one of the things because they give you a different perspective of what's going on, like how things are, and also spending time with the older generations. Humans are we've been known to shape things, and like there's another question that you shared with me also is things that have changed me. Sometimes this interaction, someone will say something and you will get a eureka moment that you've been reading books. Like, for example, let me give you a funny example, okay? Have you done any sales course in the past?
Never. But yeah, I've been to some sales, on-ground sales thing when I was in college.
I was watching a small video for a gentleman who said something that was spoken about 14 centuries ago
Okay.
about Ali ibn Abi Talib, one of the Prophet's companion and one of the Islamic Caliphate. And he said something in sales that rocked my mind. He said, so the story that he put it is that you do not have to go and demolish someone's house to push them to live in the palace. Build the palace for them that they'll make them demolish their small cottages to move to that palaces.
Wow.
Thinking about that, like that one term, okay, literally summarize the whole ideas that we have when it comes to sales and pitching and everything.
Yes.
So the idea when it comes to sales, I don't want to destroy your beliefs.
Okay.
Lots of the sales people, when they come to you, oh, you have to take that deal. And they start pushing you, demolishing, like addressing every, let's say, every aspect that you have, every belief that you have. But at the same time, that's not the right way of selling. The right way of selling something is that to show them the other side and to look, you might miss out on that opportunity. You play on emotion rather than facts, and then we might be right, to have to push them for a better solution. But at the same time, you want to do the right. You want to keep them coming back to you to sell them the properties, or sorry, to sell them the products that you have or the service or whatever in the long term. And you cannot do that just because you belittle your clients, but by growing up with them.
Yes, I would love to share something very similar to this. Our boss, he told me once, his name is Mr. Amir Ali. He said that cultivate a garden so beautiful that the butterflies come there. You don't have to hunt for butterflies. Nobody hunts for butterflies.
Exactly.
You cultivate a garden so that the butterflies come there. Similarly, if you're doing something, cultivate your product in such a way that people are compelled to buy it.
Exactly.
You don't have to force them. You just be there. They will come to you.
Exactly.
And I think that is one philosophy that has to be, spreaded, because a lot of people don't really understand this. They try to force things on you. Recently, I had a call. Somebody called me and they were like, "Do you want a credit card?" I was like, "Please ask me how am I doing." I was having a very, very, very bad day. So the moment I got the call, she said, "This is the credit card. Do you want a credit card?" I was like, "At least ask me how am I doing, please."
Care about me. That, those are the things that people are missing out these days. Is that the human connection, and we appreciate the little things in our lives. You realize after, at a certain age of your time that the little things matter.
True.
A long time ago, we were kids in Majlis at that time. Another gentleman, he said something to us. He said, have a small paper with you.
Okay.
I said to him, and then he said, write in it the small thing that makes you happy.
Okay.
So the small thing to what thing? He said, write even the small cup of coffee that you had on a sidewalk, or what's it called? And if it's in India, a chai, joint, that you had, that you want to come back to, because those small things will make you the whole. And those small things, because he said at a certain time when you start having bank account numbers going up and up, okay, you will forget what makes you happy. You start focusing on that number, forgetting that, okay, you might want to buy a watch to celebrate something, or you want to buy a car that celebrates something. Do that, because when you do that, you add value to yourself, you add value to your future, you add value, you have a monument of your win.
That is beautiful. And I think I'm going to follow this thing.
I still have the sheet of paper actually at home.
Do you do it every day?
No, I did it once at that time, because that reminds me of myself. Like it's like a rock that you go back to.
So you have kept it like that. It's like a memory trip.
Exactly.
Down the lane. Beautiful.
And I've written, visit the whole world, see different cultures. Alhamdulillah, I fulfilled that at least.
And people who are actually watching us, listening to us, let me tell you one thing. UN has recognized 195 countries. If I'm
192.
192. And you have visited?
No, the world. Okay, that's among the things that's funny.
Okay.
Every country in the world had different recognitions.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, fine.
Yeah. Take for example, in Qatar we recognize Palestine.
Okay, yes.
Okay. Other countries, we might say some countries that are not recognized
Yes.
by many people, like
Kosovo is one of them, I think. US has not recognized.
yeah. So that's the thing. So there's between 195 all the way to I think 243, something like that, depending which scale they use. I visited 192.
192
Yes.
countries you have visited.
Yeah.
Okay, it means extensive traveling.
Yes.
And that brings me to my first question once again. Being a professional, and you also told me that you're on board of a lot of different companies.
Yes.
You have to take decisions.
Yes.
You have to make decisions that carry a lot of weight. And how do you balance that professional part of your life with a personal part of your life? Because you told me that you're fond of your kids, you like spending time with them, you like spending time with elders. So how do you manage this thing? Because a lot of times
it's easy. It's easy. Like what's called? You have kids, if I may ask.
No, I'm not married yet.
Okay. May you be married and have blessed kids and wife, inshallah, by that time. So for me, why not mixing everything together? Like for example, I'm invited to teach in Rome Institute in Rome in the summer for almost 1 month. I'm thinking to take my kids with me as an experience. Okay. I'll be teaching university students about innovation management, cross-border management, entrepreneurship, how to build the right, let's say, investable companies. So when you do that and you have your kids with you, it's first of all bonding with them, and also showing them, the culture and everything. Because I have two of my friends over there. They are business partners tend to be friends.
Okay.
And those guys are like two brothers to me. So. Okay. When we go there, okay, if I have a chance to take my kids with me, which I'm praying that I will do that, I will be having good time with them, and also they will be seeing the different home. They will be immersing themselves in the culture. They will be looking into home, into a different, aspect, not just the European city, but they will be looking into the history, the culture, the food culture. We'll be going, to, let's say, maybe we'll be hunting or fishing or we might go to Sicily to see some friends also over there. So when I travel, I don't travel just because it's recreation, but also to do business and also to see opportunities. You cannot, like, for example, how many AI tools you can tell me about now, top of your heads?
Claude, ChatGPT, DeepSeek, Gemini, Copilot, and there are certain Sora. Sora no. Canva has now an AI.
So now you mentioned what? Seven American and 1 Chinese.
Yeah.
Up to this morning, I have at least reviewed 6 Chinese models.
6 Chinese models.
AI models, yeah. So if you think about it this way, that there's a huge country called China.
Yeah.
That's a different world. Yeah, that's a different world. They are making, do you remember it's an AI tool that build personas for you to test your product. Okay, and it's like building another society, like not just so you can test. If you think about it this way, if I didn't go to China at that time, like Wuhan, everybody associated unfortunately with what happened back in 2019. But Wuhan is one of the most developed cities when it comes to AI and AI models and technology. China is huge. People over here, if you are sitting anywhere in the world, as I told you, if you are too far, like South America, can you imagine that South America is so big, so huge, so tremendous? That's because it has multiple culture. It's like Indian food.
Okay.
When you say, when I come to you and say, can we go to an Indian food restaurant? You'll be looking at me puzzled, right?
Yeah.
Because what do you mean? You want to have Tamil food? You want to have Mumbai food? It's a different culture. Even in Mumbai, do you want to have fine cuisine? Do you want to go to street food? Do you want to go vegetarian? Do you want to go
non-veg? Yeah, a lot of
so you see that's what the travels bring. It brings the opportunities, the discoveries, or maybe it brings the opportunities that locals do not see it.
Yeah, true.
So when you travel, you see things that the local do not notice. And when you have, let's say, when you visit those countries, I told you, you develop relationship with nice and kind people around the world that will help you either to grow your business or to have friends.
True.
To have a house everywhere. Yesterday, I was talking to one of my friends in Sweden, and he was begging me. He said, Abdulla, come on, the war situation for you is really bad. Come to live with us in Sweden at least for some time. I thought, man, we are safe and everything. So I have, alhamdulillah, I'm blessed to have houses everywhere in the world. People that are willing to host me, and that helps you, the human connection. Such people are good business partners.
True.
You've done business with them. You've gone the business and everything. So when you ask me, what do I do? So because I have that, I have the idea that when I travel, I do everything. I go for business. and I go for also, to create, to see some people, and like where my two friends in Italy, we are creating now a ranch in Italy for professional training for visitors who will come, let's say for team building, but we want to do it in a way that people comes out of that training with the business ideas.
Okay.
Not just to go there, have the training, have the course and leave, but to be part of, let's say, culture, disconnect, but at the same time to reconnect,
Create something.
What do you call it? Creativity of the boredom, as I call it.
Creativity of the boredom.
Yeah, when you're bored, no communication, nothing with the outer world. When you are, how many hours you are just scrolling your phone and not wanting to be bored. A human being should be bored at least 2 hours a day to be creative.
True.
Because
I agree with
you. But that's the thing. We are worried about being bored.
I think the one thing that I would love to rephrase it in such a way is that stillness.
Yep.
We are running away from stillness. I realized this one thing. There's a routine that I do. Every morning I wake up, I play a particular type of music, which is basically instrumental music, either guitar or piano. It is a soothing music, so that I start the morning on the right note. So today, this morning, I just forgot to play that.
Yeah.
And while brushing my teeth, I realized that, okay, this is the first day, the first morning in a lot of mornings where I'm not stimulated.
Yes.
I'm not taking anything inside of me. It's just me, my thoughts, and my actions. And that made me realize that, okay, I have been running away from this for so long. And this is one activity or one trait that we should develop more and more. And that is what we call as the creativity of boredom. Because the moment you sit still, the moment you still yourself, you realize things come to you.
Yes.
That's what I believe.
That's the thing. And as you said, those special, let's say, 1 hour after you're waking up, is the time that you need to take carefully.
Yes.
You need to treat it sacredly. As a Muslim, we pray, we do our morning prayers and all these things. So that's why, I try my best not to touch my phone or to answer a notification unless it's necessary, or like my parents have called or someone like that, a loved one had called. Other than what, I avoid any communication, or even I try not to touch my phone when I wake up.
I think that is a beautiful routine. And yesterday I was reading about a prophet, peace be upon him.
So.
And I was so amazed by the routine that he followed. He will be awake by 3 a.m. in the morning, then after the prayer, things that... And I tried it. For 1 month, I tried that during Ramadan. I also observed the fast during Ramadan.
Alhamdulillah.
And I realized that it changes you. It brings a certain amount of calm to your thinking.
Exactly.
And, I think this is where we should learn the idea that doesn't matter how fast the world moves, how ahead the world goes, you have to come back to your roots. You have to come back to the things that ground you. And coming to that portion of the conversation, what are the activities that you do to ground yourself or make yourself feel calm and composed?
I think I had a realization 10 years ago about okay, why not meditating? Why not doing yoga? Then I found out I'm a Muslim, I do 5 prayers a day. Why not focusing and understanding, okay, how can I connect to God with the prayers rather than just sit down and stillness and meditate and everything, but to try to have that connection with the actual, with let's say, within the Islamic parameters itself. Away from meditating helps, every now and then, I have to tell myself okay, it's time to stop. Whatever you're doing, just stop, take a break, sit down, breathe. Remember to breathe. Breathe deeply, just to realize where you are. The past doesn't exist now. The future, we don't know about it. But we only have this moment to cherish. I was telling my kids, they are billionaires, but they don't realize it. You know that every kid is born with 2 billion in their account.
2 billion
in their accounts.
Okay.
What's that 2 billions that you're born with?
Is it ideas, time, or breaths?
Everybody has 2 billion seconds to live.
Seconds, okay.
Yeah. When you cross, I think, 34 years is 1 billion seconds.
Wow.
So if you're above...
31 years, I guess.
31 years.
31
yeah.
years.
So this is precious time.
Yeah.
We need to realize that it's not infinite.
Wow.
We're not going to be here for eternity, but we have now. Let's use it wisely. Even putting a smile on someone's face is among the most Islamic things, is putting someone on someone's face.
Wow,
people are forgetting that. People are forgetting to look into our roots. As Muslims, we are like There was a famous book that was written, I think, early 90s. It was what did the whole world lost when the Islamic, let's say, values diminished and we became, more academic and westernized and all these things. I'm talking even as a Qatari, we are speaking English in Qatar. And I was praying that one day that we'll be talking Arabic, but the challenge that we have even with the next generation is that they're speaking more English than Arabic, unfortunately. Yeah. So taking that in mind and thinking about it, we have lots of things to offer from our culture, from our religion, and from our, let's say, faith to the people. Everybody, when they think about Muslim, they are thinking about, the unfortunate things that happen. But if you think about it, Islamic values is 14th centuries. If you take everything that the Muslims have done for the 14th century, bad versus good, we've done nothing bad compared to other nations. Yeah. Like when you think about it, which is unfortunate for people. But unfortunately is that we are more into defense rather than going to the offense of sharing what you have. True. You remember the World Cup, right? Yeah. 2022, the World Cup. Yeah. There's lots of things that happen. All the mosques and the stadiums did not have walls. They had, glass mirrors. Wow. You knew that? You noticed that?
I was not in Qatar at that time.
Okay, so at that time, imagine all the mosques showing that people praying inside them with
no walls, only glass.
Only glass to show that, okay, you can pray and go to watch a game and enjoy time with your kids.
Wow, beautiful.
So such small things that change the session of lots of people who come from South America thinking that Qatar is the most, Middle East where people are always fighting, having war. But we are looking into, that there's a different Middle East where people are wearing whites because they are so kind. They prefer, one of my friends, he said that I hated that the Qataris wear always white dresses, white clothes. And I told him why. He said, I feel that it's something that's strange that you keep all these white garments white all the time. You must have a secret. So people think that because you wear different clothes, then you must be different. Then you start having, bad ideas about the different. But as I told you, the good thing about traveling is that you find out that everybody has something to crack, or when you, like, among the easiest icebreakers I have found out is when people will not try to harm you when they know who you are.
Okay.
In the sense, as soon as you feel you are in a situation,
okay,
even if it's a bad situation, for me the easiest thing to do is not to put my fist up and start to go off defense, but to say, "Hi, my name is Abdulla." Like as soon as someone has a tag name for you, they don't want to harm you.
Yeah. They associate you with someone who they know.
Yeah, someone they know, but also as a human. Or he talks,
Okay. He's a human.
Yeah,
he's not the threat, I think.
You see, that's the thing. So shaking hands is a sign of an empty hands.
Yeah.
So people are forgetting that, As I told you, we need to have more of that culture outside. We need to tell people more about, the Middle East, that we are welcome everybody to come. Crime rates are next to nothing compared to the whole world. People in general over here, lots of people come to build their lives, not just to come and go. You are from India, Yeah, lots of South India, especially, guys. I barely met anybody from who's not from Kerala and Qatar, as you know, because we have that culture with you guys. You are close to us, and one of the funny things is that in the Arab culture, okay, when you ask me about traveling, Kerala, okay, and some of the old maps wasn't called Kerala in Arabic.
They were called
Khayrullah.
Once again.
Khayrullah, the blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Wow, and I don't know if it's a coincidence or not. In Kerala, we say Kerala is God's own country.
Yeah, so
I think it's there.
Yeah. So wow. And maybe because lots of the people who reside over there became out. It's like one of the funny discoveries that I have found. Korea in English, Korea with A, it actually ends with an L in their language, in the Korean language, Koreal.
Okay.
But the Arab travelers were there first, so they call it Korea. As Korea Muya, which has 2 islands in the Indian Ocean.
Okay.
So we changed the name of the country worldwide.
Wow.
It's the same thing now. Turkey. They're changing the word to be Turkey rather to call it Turkey.
Because
Turkey is the English pronunciation.
Version of the original name.
So we were like that. We, as Arabs, we used to travel. We used to bring our culture, give our culture to the world war, and we were the masters of spice trading and all these things. People are thinking that lots of people that's Muslim went with the sword. Actually,
No.
Less than 30% of all
Yeah.
Islamic inspiration was with sword. More than 70%
Was with
was
pen and books.
trade,
Yeah.
penetrating, market with literally with the nicest, with the kinds. It's like, Indonesia, the largest population of Muslim in the world is in population is in Indonesia today, and I can't remember that we had a war over there or a
Yeah.
fight.
I think the problem is that people selectively look at things.
Yeah.
And the best part that you already mentioned, when you travel, you open up your mind. You start seeing the world in a very different perspective. And that only comes with experience.
Yeah.
The more you see people, the more you meet people, the more you talk to them, the more you interact with different cultures, you realize that, okay, most of the problems are created by some other set of people who wanted to gain something out of it. And they made their point, and still we are fighting.
Yeah.
And one thing that I noticed from the discussion that we had upstairs is that you are very particular about one thing. I won't explicitly mention it here, but you have mentioned that the intervention of a foreign power has wreaked havoc on different cultures.
Yes.
And that is something very important that we have to point out these days, because more and more people are starting to realize that, even back in India. And when I was having this conversation with a few of my friends, they realize that we are not in touch with our own roots.
Yes.
And similarly, when I was coming here, one thing that surprised me the most is the way Qatar keeps in touch with the tradition, even while going forward in the modernization era. Even if you look at Doha, souk is in middle of the city, and that, if you look at it from an eagle eye point of view, the contrast is so amazing.
Yes.
Like keeping up with
You
your
have
tradition.
Manhattan of the desert, which is the West Bay,
Yeah.
where you have all those towers, and within a couple of kilometers you have like an easygoing mentality.
Yeah, exactly.
And next to it is Mshir.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what appalls me a lot. Like how they are able to do this, how they're able to pull this off. Like being a Qatari, like what is your take on this? As a society, what is one thing, what is one value that you instill in each of you, so that this way of progress keeps on going?
Let me tell you about something that resonates with me since I was a long time ago, so it's more than 20 years. Sheikh Hamad, the father of Emir, he had a 60 minutes interview.
Okay.
On the 60 minutes, he had an interview. And the guy told him, that means Qatar is a heaven. He said, welcome to our heaven. So he had a vision for Qatar at that time. He fulfilled it. And the first time he became the Emir of Qatar, the ruler of Qatar, he said, and when the time comes and I feel that someone else is going to be better than me in that role, I'll happily step down. That was the promise that he gave to his people.
Okay.
He kept his word. So he gave Sheikh Tamim to be the Emir of Qatar. He was the youngest Emir at that time. And he's done great things, as you could see. Sheikh Tamim, God give him, long life and prosperity. We survived so many incidents, and we are surviving what we are going. And I always tell people that Qatar is the country of comebacks. We are proud to serve under him, under his vision. Same thing that we served under his father's vision and his grandfather's vision at that time. He helped us to look into the future. He helped us with putting the right cabinet, the right people in power, looking into the future and arranging what we have to him. So the love that we have, the whole site is weaved in a way that it's culturally in depth, that it's not. We don't even. I cannot say that could be broken, because it's like as old as history itself. Like you change, we have lots of things that change history, but our let's say our weave together, like as a society, is the one that's keeping us. We know that through like multiple incidents that happened over the past 10 years that help us to go through those things and come out as resilient as we are as Qatar today. So keeping that thought. So the most, let's say, powerful person in Qatar, he promised on the first day that he became the Emir of Qatar that on the right time, I'll just step down.
Yeah.
He did not take 30 years. He took 18 years and he stepped down.
Wow.
Okay, and he did that purposely because to show us that, okay, it's time for someone else to lead.
Yeah.
Because this person will have better leadership or better understanding, and he will be ready for the next generation. And that's what we expect, is that how, as a nation, as I told you, we are trying our best. It's always easy to judge, something bad that happened in the future. Like when you're too far away from a decision, it's easy to say, okay, this person did that something wrong. But I always say that you weren't at that time in those situations. You did not see what was happening, or when someone does something, you see it wrong today. It's wrong by today's standard, not by that person's standard at that time. But we're so proud to be Qataris. We're so proud to be in that time in Qatar. We have done lots of things over the years. We are alhamdulillah, comfortable. It's not just that we are lucky because God gave us, the land, that gave us, whatever the land is providing us today, but also that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also gave us the wisdom to move, the right people in the right places to help us progress in the future as well.
I think that says a lot about the whole ideology itself, I would say. You mentioned, right, Father Amir said that if a better leader comes, I'm ready to step down. I will definitely step down once a better leader comes. And for a leader to say that reflects the conditioning the society has. And that is indeed a beautiful thing.
Good.
And now let's go to the business part of the podcast. Okay.
Sure.
So, see, as you told me that you are on board of a lot of companies.
Yes.
You see a lot of people, meet a lot of people. You have started a lot of businesses.
Alhamdulillah.
And you meet a lot of startup founders.
Yeah.
So the question is, what is one character trait in a founder that makes you willing to take the risk?
It's a holistic approach, first of all. The problem is that we have with founders, let me tell you what I avoid. I avoid the yes man founders.
Okay.
If I meet a founder and I tell them, whenever I have an idea and I tell them, okay, why don't you do this? Say, yeah, we'll do this. Oh, yeah, we are thinking about it. I want a founder that was resilient to his idea or her idea in a way that they're going to move into the future. They're going to move to test the idea. They wouldn't pivot unless they make sure that it is right to pivot. There's no other ways.
True.
So that's resilience of the founder itself, and also dedication of the founders. If a founder comes to me with an idea and he or she never invested in their business, never started a business, and did not have any proof in the business, I know that it's just an idea.
Okay.
It's like someone who tell you, okay, next Sunday I'm going to start going to the gym. So, next Sunday never come,
Yeah.
So,
I understand that.
Discipline is an important thing. But also, as they say in English, you need to put your hand where your mouth is. Okay. If you have a business idea and you haven't invested in it, time or money, just thinking, I have lots of people who will be thinking about other things.
Beautiful. This reminds me of a quote, especially the yes man theory that you just said. This is said by Field Marshal Sam Manekshaw. He said that a yes man is a dangerous man.
Yes.
He might rise higher. He might even become the prime minister, but he will never become a good leader.
Yes.
So, for the people who are watching us, say no to yes man. Next question.
Yes.
When a lot of times we are hearing this word disruption, especially after AI has entered the market, and a lot of people, when they are starting on their journey of entrepreneurship, they tend to make certain mistakes. According to you, what is the biggest mistake that startups make when they're trying to grow too fast?
Getting the wrong money. By wrong money, I mean wrong investor, wrong investment, wrong size of investment.
Okay.
Too much money kills an investment and a company at the early stage because, and also the worst thing is that spending money that they don't have on a prospect that. So I have someone who called me and he said, okay, I would like you to invest in my company, and the guy made it sound as a pitch, and I told him, yeah, okay, I like it. Then we started investigating the company. We go through due diligence, and due diligence can be forensic sometimes, so forensic auditing. So we go to the, like lately, one of the companies, we literally hired a private investigator to look into the company.
Okay.
Because you need to get all, because it's not just Abdullah's money, it's also my partner's money that people who trusting my judgment on it. So I'm paid to do that actually, like to do it as a consultation sometimes. So when we hired, this person kept calling me saying, oh, when are you gonna invest? I told him, I haven't even signed yet. I haven't given you an LOI because I'm waiting for the idea that we have. So I would avoid anybody who's desperate, because people who are desperate for money are always misusing money.
True.
Especially if someone tells me that, okay, I blocked all my channels of investment because you told me that you are looking at my company. I just tell them, then I'm not interested in looking to your company because it's not worth it. This person would come back to you saying that, okay, I need more money always. No matter how much money you drop in the company, even if you drop literally $1 billion, those people will always, this mentality, they're not a mentality of running a business, they're a mentality of whenever I have a problem, I'll go to my investor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not owning up to the mistakes and
No.
doing something. That can
That's
change.
my prospect, but
Okay.
maybe someone will. I always say one thing. I have been proved wrong so many times in my life,
Okay.
but because I have done lots of choices, so yes, I have done lots of mistakes.
Okay.
A person who did not do any mistakes in their life,
They do not
okay,
do it.
they haven't done much in their lives. That's what I always say.
True.
You always have scars if you move. If you don't move, then you look sharp.
Yeah. There's one more phrase very similar to it. Straight road don't make good drivers.
Yes,
Yeah. Next question.
please.
Uh, one financial advice that you would love to give to people who are watching us, because the reason I'm asking you this question is because financial investment, finance,
Yeah.
is something that people are looking into it seriously, especially coming from that part of world where in the school curriculum we are
Yes.
not taught about anything
Yeah.
related to finance. We are taught about economics, what is economics, macroeconomics, microeconomics,
Yes.
everything related to it, but the financial aspect that every person needs to follow, certain financial discipline that every person needs to follow, regardless of their salary, regardless of
Yeah.
their business structure.
Okay. So first of all, I'm not a financial advisor.
Okay.
To declare that out.
Okay.
So I'll tell you about my experience. Do smaller steps. Suddenly you look back, you'll find out that you have moved from one place to another, and always appreciate God that gave you, opportunity to do that. Do the small investment, do the small increment that will change your life. Always ask, whenever I give, a talk in university, I always tell them the same thing. 1 to the power n is always 1.
Okay.
But 1.01 to the power n keep changing.
Team changing.
It's the same thing, going back to the gym. When you go to the gym, first 6 weeks there's nothing. Then suddenly people will ask you, "Oh, you go to the gym? You look different."
Yes.
So it's the same thing with life. Change happens slowly, but suddenly people will notice, "Oh, you finished your PhD."
Yeah.
It's the same thing that the PhD mentality. You need to go to university for 4 years to get PhDs.
Yes.
Okay, wasting time waiting for the right opportunity is not going to come. But the idea is that if you do an investment, do smaller tickets. There are lots of opportunities in Qatar to do smaller tickets, and you can gather. Like for example, we have. Can I talk about, for example, some of the initiatives that we have in Doha or
please.
the private? So we have, for example, Doha Tech Angels.
Doha Tech Angels.
Yes,
Okay.
Doha Tech Angels is the first. It's the first, let's say, conglomerates of investors together. So they're reviewing some ideas. You can invest even small tickets. The other one that we're working with closely is Finyal Venture.
Okay.
Sorry, Vinjal Venture. Vinjal Ventures is a club.
Okay.
Okay. The idea is that we review the opportunities and we confirm the ticket.
Okay.
Okay. So one of our latest signed tickets is with Skip Cash. We invested $1 million in Skip Cash, the famous payment system that we have in Qatar. So with Skip Cash we invested 1 million, but the million did not come from a single investor, but into multiple investors, yet managed by Vinjal Venture as a management company.
Got it.
So the idea is that we have lots of opportunities for smaller tickets. One of my younger cousin, he asked me something. He said, "Show me an opportunity that I can use $1 million for it in Qatar, and I'll be 1 million riyals. That's not real estate that I can invest in." And when I asked him, why you keep buying cars? He said, "Because I cannot buy real estate with 1 million riyals. I rather to spend it on a car." I told him, "Yeah, but what if you invested in companies?" He said, "But we wanted something smaller." With that being said, also one of my Indian companies is called RDRX. We are doing tokenization for real estate.
Wow.
We are the first company that getting the license last year in Qatar.
Beautiful.
Okay, we will be providing our service very, very soon within some of the banks here in Qatar. So that will help people to even invest, 1,000, 2,000 riyals.
Okay.
Imagine you are doing that every month.
It compounds.
Yeah. 10,000 riyals you invested in a year, 12,000 riyals a year. Okay, suddenly you'll be having, multiple apartments or multiple shares in apartment that making you money for things that you don't have to own 100% of it.
True.
So we started in India, by the way.
Okay.
I think today, I don't want to give the wrong figure, but I think last time I checked, we had about 90,000 clients in India.
Wow.
And we want 90,000 is nothing to India. Come on.
No, 90,000 is nothing, but since it's just started, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So we are going now to Qatar. We want to go to the other markets. Tokenization is not something new, but what I believe in is that my founder, Mr. Nand, is really smart, and he's doing it in a way that he's growing it the right way, avoiding the other people's mistake.
Wow. Learning from other people's mistakes and avoiding it. Beautiful. And we talked about one trait that leads people towards failure. Red flag that we have mentioned. Now, one trait which is a huge green flag that you see in a founder, like one or two traits.
So, as I told you earlier, resilience.
Resilience.
Founders resilient. A company with multiple founders, I would prefer to meet each founder separately.
Okay.
Okay, because I want to have this communication with them in a way to understand whether they are on the right and the right side of the page, or they have issues among themselves.
Okay.
If they have issues among themselves, then I prefer not to invest in the company. But if they are together good and then end for the good thing, and you have, as I call it, Steve Wozniak and Steve Jobs, mentality. One is the one who can talk, market, push people to do things. Steve Jobs. Steve Wozniak, the technology guy, the guy who can create things. Yeah. So to have such mix, okay, is a recipe for, I would say, a better success in the future.
Beautiful, beautiful. Now coming to the closing parts of the podcast. This is not a technical question. This is not a business-related question. This is more of a, something related to your life, your journey. Now looking back to all these years of experience, not just as a professional, but through your childhood, through your adulthood, and now at this point, 3 key lessons that life has taught you.
Although life is still teaching me lessons, so I'm not sure.
A lot of lessons will be there, but 3 key lessons.
Well, always be good, do good, no matter what situation is. Because at the end of the day, nobody can see inside you or judge you. You will be judged at the end of the days with God. So that's the first thing, is that have the right intention towards everything.
Yes.
No matter how bad the situation around you, no matter what's the outcomes, do your best to look back into the past to say that, God, I've done my best. You do any martial arts?
Yeah, I did.
So have you heard about Kendo, the sword fights, the Japanese samurai fight?
Yeah.
Our master used to say something.
Do you do that?
I do it, yeah. I love martial arts. I'm not a football guy.
I also love martial arts. I have learned Kalari Pait, which is the oldest martial art in the world.
The Indian
you talked about how Buddhism has a different...
Yeah.
So the guy who spread Buddhism in China is
actually... Kung Fu, but I read about that.
I learned that. Not completely, but specific parts.
So I've studied martial arts all my life. I've been doing fast martial arts all my life. I even teach my kids from time to time on new things. So in Kendo, my master used to say something. He said, when you are on the mat for the fight, you do your best and let fate decide.
Okay.
From now, my culture, Islamics and all these things, we do our best and let Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decide the outcomes. So that's the first thing that you must, as you do it, not for someone, not for the money, but also before that, have your intention right to do it for God. That you'll do whatever money you'll collect, whatever you'll do, you're gonna do good with it, so that you are blessed.
True.
That helped me also grow. That helped me to go forward. That helped me in the darkest time. I had lots of times that were tough for me, not easy. And when people come to me, I still believe that I'm the luckiest man alive. And some people, when they look at my life, they tell me, "How come you are the luckiest man in your life?" Like, I tell them, well, even with everything that I went through, the good, the bad times, I'm still blessed. I still believe that I'm blessed. So that's why I believe I'm blessed to have that feeling that God, have given me lots of things and let me do lots of things with it. Beautiful. So that's the first thing, is have the right intention. Make sure that you are doing everything for God before you do it yourself. The second lesson is make sure that you have your key people happy around you. Don't delay a sorry. Don't delay an apology. Don't delay anything especially for those who are your loved ones. Since we are kind to strangers, it's much better for us to be kind to our loved ones.
True.
Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the best person is the best person to his loved ones, to his family. So those are things that we are forgetting, because we are tough. We have, life is not easy, yes, but don't make it hard for others as well.
Wow.
And then have that in your mind. The last lesson, maybe, keep learning, discovering, understanding, go, voyage, see things. Reading about something will give you a small perspective. Let me tell you about the country that we've been dragged to the war with it, Iran, for example. Unfortunately, listen, man, the land is wonderful. The people over there are kind. Them attacking us, there's no justification for that. there's no discrimination. I stand with my country to say that we have the right to fight back. At the same time, we need to recognize that they were also attacked, and like let's say, harming us
It's not
doesn't take also the right for us to say, okay, it is right for anybody to be harmed in this world.
true.
I believe in peace. I believe that we should put the diplomatic solution within the situation that we are in. But I stand with my country that we have the right to fight back. And when we never, result to that, and we have peace for us, because I really want to go. I want to visit the country again. It's a wonderful country. There's lots of wonderful people over there. Lots of Islamic idea came from there. Lots of Islamic intervention, literature, arts, science, astrology, many things that came from there.
Yep.
Iran
It used to be a melting pot of cultures,
Is it? It is. That's why you have when someone. I always tell people the Persian are the majority over there. Yes, but they are not even majority in the country. I.e., they are less than 50%. You have 30% of the. Funny enough, 30% of the Iranian population is actually Azaris, which is you think about it, like a country.
It's not the true ethnic population.
Exactly.
Yeah. A lot of Baloch population also.
Yeah, lots of Baloch, even Pushtun there over there. I was surprised to see Pushtun, and it's like once I was in India and I met a guy who looked Chinese, and he said to me, "I'm Indian." Yeah, and he said my family migrated to India, almost 100 years ago, and we settled over there.
Wow. Yeah.
The whole world is mixed.
True.
Like the majority minority in Brazil is Japanese. Funny enough.
Yeah.
Like, when you think about it, why would a Japanese person go to Brazil? Like, you're thinking like Japan and Brazil, two different culture, but it creates a wonderful kitchen for me, actually. I love fusion kitchens. There's like a wonderful fusion between those, like the Vietnamese French cuisine, or French Lebanese cuisines. Like, there are so many cuisines that
You're a foodie, right?
I love food a lot. Yeah. No, come on. I put some weight because of that. So
I won't blame you. Same here.
Food is the even like when you go to the joints, like you don't go to the fancy restaurant, but you go to those smaller joints.
Yeah, you get the authentic taste.
Yeah, but that's the funny thing. That we are going now to experience travelings now. For example, you go to Italy, you go to those vineyards and to have the local foods and everything, which I call it overpriced poor people food. Unfortunately, overpriced poor people. Because think about it this way: what's the most let's say sophisticated food that the elites have these days? Caviar.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. Caviar was the food of the poor people over there at that time.
Wow.
And let me tell you something funny. Since I love traveling, I think number 2 caviar seller in the world is a country in the Middle East, by the way.
Okay. Is it?
No, not Qatar.
Not Qatar.
Yes.
Is it a GCC country?
That is.
Kuwait?
Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia?
Yes.
Okay.
So a Saudi gentleman this guy I've been following I'm not going to mention his name because I want you to go and Google him, because you're going to find him on Wikipedia. This guy started a tank manufacturing, plant, and then moved it to create the caviar.
Wow.
And he helped in preserving the whole, the caviar fish species in the whole world.
Wow. In
Saudi Arabia.
Beautiful.
So those are things that people are not talking about, people are not even looking into or forgetting about.
This is a new piece of information
yes.
for me. Yeah.
But as I told I was surprised that number 2 country in producing caviar is Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia, yeah? Wow. I think one thing that I take away from our conversation is that this 1 hour podcast is not enough.
We'll have another one. I'm more than happy to come, and to work with you guys. And I always see, opportunities as what you call it, like stone, you drop it in the water itself. So you keep everything with ripple and go forward.
True. I would love to extend my heartfelt thanks to you.
Thank you
because taking out your time and coming here, having this conversation with me, it means a lot to me. And before we wind up, one final advice, message, a piece of your heart for our listeners who are...
No matter what, there's in every country, we have in Arabic we say that in every country there's a graveyard and a garden. Sometimes you go to a country that you think that it is bad, but when you go there, you find out that it's wonderful, food is great. Among the countries that I really look forward to go to, and it's sometime soon, is Afghanistan.
Afghanistan,
yes.
Wow.
Afghanistan is always, has been a famous fort in history. Neither the Muslim nor the Macedonians could conquer it.
Nor
But
the Soviets.
nobody, yeah, exactly. So
No.
nobody. It's a land of resilience, but at the same time, they have among the best pomegranate I have ever tasted in my life.
Oh,
Yeah, and one of the most like I would say fruitful apples I have ever tasted in my life. Beside that, you have other foods that, as a foodie, you're gonna be dribbling, by the time I'm done,
probably.
Yeah.
I'm
So-
trying to cut down on the weight, but I don't think I can now.
Well, if you are traveling and you do 40,000 steps a day, then you can eat whatever you want.
Wow. And I should travel.
Yeah, you should travel. That's why you should travel. You're already traveling. You're here in Qatar now. You left your country, so you have done the first step.
Yes. A lot of people ask me, like, is this your first time out of India? And I'm like, yeah, first time out of India, directly to Qatar.
Wonderful.
First
But
time,
you
yeah.
will have, Qatar Airways, inshallah, going up again, and we'll have, I think, Qatar Airways announced early this year, we have 186 destinations.
Yes.
So I'm hoping that we'll start to have, with Qatar Airways, some sort of, let's say, affiliation program, of which that we can get, like, buy tickets to the destination that people don't go to just to
Yes.
try it.
True. We should have something like that.
I look forward to that. I always tell the guys, whenever you have, empty legs, just let's discuss, how can we fill it for you.
True. Inshallah. Thank you so much,
Pleasure.
Mr. Abdullah.
Thank you much. Appreciate
I had
it.
a great time talking to you.
Pleasure.
And to the people who are watching us, listening to us, the greatest takeaway from this conversation that I had right now is that, one, travel as much as you can.
Yep.
Second, having the right intention in life, not just in business, in life. If you have right intention, if you commit to the cause, success will definitely come to you. And I started this whole conversation with a statement that I am going to invest my time, and I can say that I really had a great time. Thank you so
Wonderful.
much.
Thank you much. Appreciate it. It was a pleasure. Thank you much.
Thank you so much.
you.
Thank you so much.
Goodbye.